with the headlines. I got a lot of questions regarding the public charge which came into effect on February 24th. So a lot of people are nervous, they're very anxious, they're very keen to know what is going to go on with the public charge when people apply for their green cards. So, most importantly, what is immigration trying to do? They want to make sure that people are self sufficient when they apply for their green cards. Now, self sufficient means not taking public benefits. So, in a sense, they expect you to make sure that you are earning a good salary and you're self sufficient and you're not going to be depending upon the government of the United States in order for you or your relative to qualify for a green card. So, I'm talking in layman's terms because I'm trying to make life easy for our viewers. Now, what are public benefits? They're government benefits. Sometimes, like, people go for Medicaid, they go for government housing, they go for social supplemental social security income, and all those factors may constitute, you know, looking into the overall totality of circumstances when the adjudicator is going to make a determination. So, critically important is that when is it going to come into play and at what point of time does it come into play in immigration? So, let's take an example. You married an American citizen, and right now you want to apply for a green card. So, what you're going to put in your application on day one is going to be the controlling factor. So, people think that when the interview comes up, I'll get a second bite of the apple. That may not happen. So, end of the day, make sure that you put your documents in properly. Make sure you look at Section 213 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. The affidavit of support is going to be one of the most critical factors, which is going to make a determination in connection with your ability to support your foreign spouse. Now, there are people who've taken benefits in the past. There are people who are taking some benefits. Does it mean that it's an outright ban? The answer is that it may depend upon, it's going to be depending, upon the officer, and a case by case determination is going to be made by the officer. But what are they going to look at in a period of 3 years? How you've taken your public benefits. Especially critically important is going to be the past 12 months of how you've taken your public benefits, whether you've taken Social Security, whether you've taken welfare, whether you've taken Medicaid, or whether you've taken government housing. These are the factors which are going to be looked into. Now, why is it scary? It is scary because, there's a saying in English that man proposes, God disposes. And unfortunately, the Trump administration doesn't understand that. You cannot have happy days all the time, and life can be topsy turvy. Or, you know, we don't live in a perfect world. There are times everyone faces, but good times, bad fine times. So when you have a bad times, according to the current administration, as it's better for you to die rather than to take any public benefits, and I think that's incorrect. And as Justice Sotomayor clearly said it from the Supreme Court, that the Trump administration seems to be meddling with the duties of the Supreme Court of the United States. So, in a sense, it's sad to see that the executive branch is exercising a tremendous control over the judiciary in this matter, which is absolutely unacceptable. And it was a 5-4 decision wherein Justice Ginsburg, then Justice Sotomayor said that exactly, that the law is going to be devastating for people, who are poor. And this law is going to impact the poor, which is not really good, I believe. So, in a sense, either rich live a rich and a lavish life and qualify for a green card, and if you're poor, God bless you. That's the message coming down from the administration. So now, how should you plan your green card? If you're applying for a spouse, go through a good lawyer and make sure that he's very knowledgeable about the public law, because you may not understand it very clearly, because at the end of the day, you have someone who's here from a foreign country. He's overstayed his visa, and he might have also taken up a job outside. He might be working off the books. All those factors will be looked into to see like what the alien has done in the country. Alien under immigration law means a foreign national. So when you're going to go for the interview, you're going to have a lot more questions than before. So gone are the days that wherein you'll be able to do your paperwork on your own. Because if your case gets denied, folks, believe it or not, it becomes notoriously difficult for an attorney to actually fix the damage. So you can choose any lawyer that you seem to be, you deem to be fit and proper, but make sure that you get the right legal advice. Do not take chances. Don't get your case denied, especially when you're sponsoring your relative or your family member, or even if you're under the employment based category. People forget that this rule can also impact people who are getting sponsored in the employment based immigration category. So there's a lot of food for thought for each one of you to think about. And let's take some questions from my viewers. So I'm going to just answer a few questions, and then, as usual, we'll be kind of, seeing as to what the next topic for the day would be. So for next week. So firstly, the question from a viewer was as I am actually from the Caribbean islands, and I came to this country on a visit visa, and I have overstayed my visa, and I've worked while I was undocumented in the United States. If I marry a citizen, can I qualify for a green card? Yes, you have a good chance of qualifying for a green card if you marry an American citizen, but we'll have to make sure that we look into your paperwork in intricate detail so that you should get your green card. His second question was that if I marry an American citizen, how long it's going to be for me to get a green card? So, give or take, if you marry a citizen and if you entered with a visa, the good news is that you may qualify for a green card within 6 to 8 months. And I think you should proceed with the case as soon as possible, particularly because things are getting difficult in the world of immigration. Second question was from a viewer from Nigeria. I'm here and I've applied for political asylum, and I went to my interview before the USCIS, and I've been referred to the immigration court. What should I do? You need the assistance of an attorney to represent you before the immigration court, and you will be served with a notice to appear before the immigration judge. And if you're in any part of the country, and if you've been asked to appear before an immigration judge, our law firm will be happy to represent you if you need to do so. The third question was, what is the immigration judge going to see in the asylum application? The judge is going to see whether you have a well-founded fear of persecution under Section 209 of the Immigration and Nationality Act, whether you faced past persecution, or whether you are anticipating future persecution, and whether your level of fear rises to the level of persecution, and whether your fear is because of politics, or is it because of your religion, membership in a social group, or because of your race. So those are the key factors which judges look into, including the fact that whether you are a credible witness, because credibility plays a major role under asylum law. The next question was from a viewer that I've been here for more than 1 year, and can I apply for asylum? Yes, you may be eligible for asylum even after 1 year, provided you show extraordinary circumstances as to why you did not apply for your asylum in 1 year. So it's not an outright bar for you to apply for your asylum if you do it after 1 year. Next question was about an H-1B visa holder. Uh, I'm a student and I've graduated and I have an H-1B sponsor. And is it going to be more difficult than before for me to qualify for an H-1? The answer is no. Immigration is streamlining the system. And yes, our firm does handle H-1B matters. And if you want to apply for an H-1, and if you have your employer ready, you can email us at info@gehilaw.com. Next, very important question from a viewer was, Mr. Gehi, I am married to an American citizen, and my spouse is extremely rude. She's very hostile. She's physically abusive and mentally abusive. Can I qualify for a green card without any help from my spouse? Look at the question. The person is asking whether can I qualify for a green card without the help of my spouse. The answer is yes, you may be eligible to apply for a green card without any help from your spouse if your marriage is bona fide. Secondly, if you are victimized by your spouse, and if your spouse is exhibiting cruel and inhuman treatment upon you, and if it is rising to the level of extreme cruelty, the good news for you is that you can self-sponsor yourself for a green card. Self-sponsorship means you don't need anything from your spouse, and we've had many people in the past, and guess what? A lot of people have qualified for their green cards when they have been victims of abuse. Prior results do not guarantee future outcome. This is attorney Naresh Gehi from the world of immigration. We'll be back again next week, same time, same place. Keep watching this show brought to you by Gehi and Associates. Gehi, Green Card with Gehi is something that is going to help all of you. And if you have someone who needs to know about immigration laws, feel free to circulate these videos, like the videos. I love my audience very much. You all are fantastic. Spread the message that we need to make sure that we get legal and we need to move on to our citizenship to make America a great nation. Hello viewers, this is attorney Naresh Gehi and
Thank you for the redaction, sorry.
No problem.
welcome to the show today. Firstly, my